Hey folks, Jonathan here. Okay, we're going to work on the Roadster a little bit. Got some little stuff to do to it. Need to clean it up. It's awfully dirty. I hadn't cleaned it since that bad oil leak, but anyway, we got it fixed. That was the main thing. So what we've got now is the headlights. Now I've got it wired up here already. I don't know which is which, but I can figure them out. One of these is a parking light, one of them is a left turn signal, one of them is a right turn signal. So the plan was to run parking light and turn signals in these two little top lights. The problem is these are single pole bulbs and we needed like 1157s. So I'm going to have to go in there and clean this tar off there and change that whole piece out for a 2-pole 1157, put 1157 bulb in it. Also, it don't look like these lights are in really good shape. Almost looks like they wasn't even used because there's no wires hooked up, and the ground is hooked up. But these are 6-volt bulbs, so I got to pick up two 12-volt. Wiring this is not a problem. Just got to find the right socket to put in here so we can run the double bulb, and we'll get everything back together. So, trip to the parts store. Two 12-volt bulbs for here, which they've gotten expensive now, believe it or not, and then two sockets for here with some 1157s. So, and 1157 is a double pole. 1156 is like your backup light with a single pole. So, anyway, we'll see what we can get. Okay, folks, made it to the parts store yesterday, and it's the next day. So we're gonna start working on the wiring. Here is what I picked up for the lights, 1157. So we got to board out just a little bit, get it to come up through. Should be able to clear for the light. The light bulbs, unfortunately, I needed some yellow ones because I don't think I've got any here. There's the other. $8 for two yellow bulbs. That's just crazy. That's the way it is. And we got our headlights. They were about, I think, 16 bucks a piece, and that was the cheap ones. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can get on getting the wires done. And I've got some stainless. We're going to run the wires through for the headlights. Hopefully we can get it all in there because we've got two wires for headlights, high and low beam, and then we're going to have two wires for the small light, which would be parking light and turn signal. And I got to do some testing to see which side the turn signal, which wire's turn signal. I think my brown's going to be parking light. I don't know. We'll make it for sure. But anyway, let's get to work on it. Okay, so here's what we've got. As you can see, we've got the whole cleaned. I got the old, here's the old socket. Got it out. We got our new one. Okay, I bored the hole some. I don't think I've got it big enough yet, but we're going to bore it out, and this goes in, and these don't hold good and they break off. So the plan is to get it up in there, and then we're going to solder this in. So we'll take out our wire first. Okay folks, you know how I was complaining about the yellow bulbs being $4 a piece and blah blah blah, but anyway, first thing I had to do was break one of them. So I could have just put $4 in a pile and set it on fire. It'd been the same thing. Anyway, we're getting there. We got our lines ran in our little conduit. I got these hooked up set temporary just to make sure the light works. And okay, so there's parking light. I guess you can see it on the camera. And turn signal. Now that is with a clear bulb, and I'll have to pick up another. Hopefully I can get the small ones. I'll make a smaller one that is still fits in the same spot as 1157. I don't know what the number is on it, but this is hitting the glass. The bulb's a little bit too big, and for some reason this one's up higher than the other one, which I soldered them in the same spot. So I may have to take the bulb out and maybe dent that one down a little bit. Something's going on with it. But anyway, I don't think we broke this bulb putting it on. So that's what happened. I just tightened it down too tight and broke the bulb inside. So I changed that out. And I'll probably make a gasket to go around the glass at least. It's going to raise it up a little bit, but you know, there's a gap there. We'll get that figured out. I just got through soldering one terminal one, so we're getting ready to do our big yellow. It's going to be my high and low beam headlights, and then I wanted to make sure I had these right before I solder these and then put any heat shrink around them. I didn't want the turn signal to be dim and the parking light to be bright. Now the only bad thing about the parking lights on these is when you turn the headlights on, the parking lights do go out. Parking lights only work when they're turned on to the first notch parking lights. And all the old cars were that way. And this has got a, I can't remember. I think I've got maybe a 41 Chevrolet switch. I don't know. An old one. Yeah, I don't remember which one. But anyway, we've got an old one on it. And we've already got it all wired. The switch already wired, so I don't have to worry about it any. So we'll get this soldered up. Get all these wires soldered up. Get the light in, the ring on, all that good stuff. Alright, okay folks, got the light all back together and got the wires ran down through the hole there. So now we've got to run the two headlight wires back into the cowl. That'll be high and low beam, and then we've got to run two wires over for the other headlight for high and low beam, and then the two wires over for the right turn signal and the right parking light. And then I've got a dimmer switch, so I've got to run the power from the key switch, or from the headlight switch down to the dimmer switch, and then hook the two wires for high and low on the headlights into them. Nothing to it. So let's get at it. We got it loaded. Mike's pulling out with it. Okay, folks. Worked on this a little more. We've got headlights. High beam, low beam. Got all my wires in the loom there. Conduit piece. Everything's done here. I've got the wires ran back to the in the cowl. I've got the dimmer switch hooked up, so we're good to go with everything. Still gonna have to get me another yellow bulb for here. Gotta cut off some wire ties. And so anyway, I've got to mount my dimmer switch. Okay, folks. I'm not sure why this paint's peeling off, but I think I'll sand that later and put something behind it, repaint it. Never had that stuff do that before. So, could be surface prep. I might have had something on the pipe or something, but you know, I hadn't touched up and repainted everything like I was supposed to anyway. But anyway, let me get at what I'm talking about. Generator. Took this generator off of an old Falcon. 12 volt, and unfortunately I tried everything I could try, exciting it and everything else to get it to work, and it will not charge. I cannot get it to charge for nothing, and it's a shame because it's close tolerance in here. It's going to be hard to put an alternator on here, but we're temporarily going to at least put an alternator on, and we'll try to do it without changing any of this bracketry. I'm going to leave it bolted like it is, and we'll try to machine the piece on the alternator. What I'm going to do, we'll take a measurement from, let's just say, the outside of the belt to the front side of this bracket, and then we're going to go from the outside of the belt and we're going to machine this off so it's at the front side of the bracket. So I'm trying to keep from changing any of the bracketry. I just want to bolt the alternator on because I want to eventually go back with the generator. And I just like the looks of it better. Alternator wouldn't look good, you know, with everything else being sort of period correct for old, except radiator. But anyway, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But for time being, we're going to go with the alternator. And I mean, I could tear it down, but I don't know, you know, when we get into it, it's going to need brushes. I don't know if the cover was on it. It looks like it might have had a piece of tape around it or something. And we pulled it off, and I just don't think that maybe we didn't even check it. I don't know. You know, it's been a little while back. So, but either way, let's get it off there and see what we can do about trying to get this alternator on it. All right. Okay, so here's what we've done. We removed this piece. That way, that bracket will sit up to here, and then I done the measurement between the belt and the back of here. So it should fit in just right from here forward. So when we bolt it in, we can bolt it right through here, and then we'll do our lower adjustment, and we'll just leave this, of course, nothing on it. So now, and we're going to really hope that we can fit it in there and get our belt tight by swinging. I don't know if we will or not. If we don't, I may have to go try to find another length belt. So let's see how this works out. All right, so we got the alternator mounted. Worked out really well. Like I said, just ended up machining that off. Well, I actually cut it off with a cutoff wheel, so we didn't do a lot of machining. But the belt fit. I've got enough room in between the frame. I could turn it a little more if I needed to tighten it, but it's tight, so we're good. So now we're going to run the wires for it. This is not a one-wire alternator, so one side gets ran over to the power. We'll hook power to it, and then the other small wire coming off here will go to the accessory side of the key switch to excite it. Got our original bracket still in, you know, good shape, so when we get the generator right, we can swap it right over and put it on. We didn't change anything. The bottom bracket actually worked out well. So anyway, I don't like it, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. Okay. I just thought about something. I'm sitting here. I got my solenoid here mounted inside. Battery cable coming to it, so we got to get 12 volts to it, to our alternator here. But our small wire, which is the one that goes to the coil to put 12 volts to it, and I guess I didn't explain last time, is to bypass the ballast resistor, but it also puts a full 12 volts to it, is what I was trying to explain. But anyway, I was wondering if I hook our exciter wire into that, if when I went to start it, that 12 volts going to it would be enough to excite it to get it to start charging. So I think I'm going to try that just as a test, and we'll see if that charges or not. So, all right, we got regular battery power. Check here. All right, it's not showing anything. So when I go to start it, it should do a spike. We should be able to see a spike in the voltage. So key on, nothing. Now when we go to start, it should just jump up and then right back down. Key is on, nothing. Alright, went up about 9 volts, something like that. Yeah. Now, what we're going to do, and I'll show you how we're going to test this. Alright, so we're going to put the power directly to our 12 volts. Now I know our battery's a little low because we have not charged it at all since I put it in the car. So we're at 11.8. So what we're going to do is I'm going to temporarily hook that wire up to that little post, and then we're going to start this thing and see if it excites it enough to get it to start charging. I've never heard of anybody using that post as an exciter wire post, but that would save from having to go all the way to the key switch, but we'll see if it'll work. Alright. We're going to hook up there, and then we're going to hook the other end to our exciter wire coming from our alternator, which is laying here on the floor. Alright, so if this works, we're at 11.92. If this works when we start it, it should jump up to, you know, 13.8 or whatever we're charging at. So let's give it a try. Nope. Alright, let's excite it by hand here against the positive. Yep, there it goes. 13, my meter likes to jump around, but it's 13.6. You have to ignore it. 13.7. So it excited, but just by me touching it on there. You can see how much it's charged already. I mean, just that quick made a difference on the battery. And it'll go down some, but so it looks like that this is not going to work. So that killed that theory. It just didn't put power to it long enough. I guess if you cranked it over a little bit, it'd be all right, but if it starts quick, it ain't going to do that. So we're going to try it one more time. I mean, if it don't work once, then I don't want to use it because I want it to be able to work every time, but let's just see what happens. All right, so we're at 1224. Turn the key on. Okay, folks, so I ran out of memory on the card, but I came to the conclusion that running the wire to the coil side of the solenoid, the starter relay, did not excite it long enough for it to start charging. So I went ahead and ran it to the accessory side of the key switch. So we're going to take it for a drive and see how it does. Get the battery charged up. All right. Okay, folks, I think we're good to go. Okay, so there's the parking lights. As you can see, that one's still clear, and that one's yellow, so I'll have to get another bulb. And let's see. Headlights. Because of the year of the switch, it's a 41 Chevrolet switch. The parking lights go off when the headlights come on. So we're good to go. And high beam indicator works on the dash. And so that's all finished up. So anyway, so I think everything's the way we want it, or the way we need it, not the way we want it, because I really didn't want to run that alternator, but like I said, we'll hopefully eventually get a generator back on there. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching, and I'll probably do a video on the cruising tomorrow night if it don't rain us out. All right, bye.